Hello and welcome back to the second part of the tutorial about Metahuman Animator. I'm going to open a new basic level in order to continue what we did in last session. I'm going to save the current level as a new map called Tuto Level Part 2 and save. Then I'm opening a new window for Quixel Bridge and get one of my Metahumans upgraded at version 5.2. This is important. I downloaded it using the highest quality settings. It's added in the project in the Metahumans folder here. And open it to check if everything's alright. Seems it's okay. Next, we'll add it to the stage. If position is wrong, correct its location at 0, 0, 0. By default, the pivot point of Metahumans is located at their feet. So I'm going to move it using Alt while press middle mouse button, and in Outliner right-click character, then pivot, and set this new position as pivot offset. It's a bit more comfortable to work with when the pivot is a bit higher. For example, here at this neck. One more thing, you can enable in project settings experimental navigation in editor preferences. Check flight camera control experimental navigation. It allows you to change camera speed on the fly. You can adjust camera speed quick or slow, whether you're far or near your subject or character you're looking to work with. Now everything is okay. We are going in our capture sequences to see if everything is alright. Metahuman performances are saved here. I've recorded a number 17 performance, double click to open. Everything is processed correctly. You can see video footage on the left. You can see 3D model live with breadboard on its right. Using the red line and yellow square, you can swipe left and right to compare your video footage and your 3D rendering, and play with opacity moving clock or counterclockwise to see if everything is consistent. So I export it one more time. I'm going to name it AS_Paul_MHP for Metahuman Performance _ to fix. For example, _head rotation. Just to remember, this one has head rotation embedded. Then check if head movement is embedded in the animation. And the target skeleton will be the face archetype skeleton from the Metahuman common face. This one. Okay, export processing. Now, back in the main editor, we are going to double check our animation. Alright, we have head rotation, indeed, eyebrows, nose, cheeks, everything looks pretty consistent. So now we are going to create a new level sequence. I've added a folder for level sequences. I'm going to assume you know a little bit about level sequences. So here in Metahumans test 2 level sequences, ls_ for level sequence, MHP, and for example, to fix, save. The sequencer opens. Now we are going to choose what we want to track in the sequencer. Here, our Metahuman body with a control wheel pre-existing for the body and one more for the face. There is no animation at the moment. Here on the face, we are going to add our animation. So on the face, track animation and our AS_Paul_MHP to fix head rotation. Here we go. Not on the first frame, so let's move it here and put last frame here. Now the problem is here. We have a conflict between the Metahuman body and the lower part of the Metahuman performance. If you look at the body, you have a large amount of points to be controlled. And here under the face, we have an animation track with a weight of 1. If you lower it at 0, nothing happens. Let's pull it back to 1 and put it aside for a moment. We are going to add an animation to our body. So in the content browser, let's go to add some animation. Here, clicking on Add button, you can add features or content pack. We are going to get some elements from the third-person template. Add project, already done for me. And in our characters, mannequins for UE4 or UE5, you get some animations, idle, running, etc. So let's get this one, idle. If you inspect it, you get some head movement, some shoulder movement. Okay, we're going to retarget this animation to the Metahuman. In our retargeter, let's go to retarget to Metahuman. Our source is SK Mani, and we are going to retarget it to our body. Search for the blueprint animation of Metahumans. Give it a name you're comfortable with, the prefix and the suffix, RT for retarget and suffix your name or whatever. Okay, and change your folder to move it to your animation in your working folder. Okay, and retarget. Here you can check if retargeting has been correctly done. Here is our idle animation, right? No issues. All right, so let's get back to our level sequence. Double click to open. And then here we get moving here with the moving bust. Let's try to fix it. So I've deleted my body controller track, and in body track, then animation, I'm going to get my idle animation retargeted. So here we go with RT underscore etc. And now everything still seems broken again. At this point, what is the fix? I'm going to move it to 0, expand it to have a loop a bit more. The body is moving correctly, but our head is still messed up. What is it happening here? In fact, when you import a metahuman, you import the whole body. When you do a performance capture with Metahuman Animator, you import only the upper body. So you've got overlapping areas that are sending contradictory informations. These are the parts we are going to fix. Let's get back to frame 0. And we are going to bake body information to a Metahuman controller. Technical pause again. When you do nonlinear animation inside your software, you store information of an object. For example, its start position and its end position. And the software twins or interpolates between the two positions, using, for example, a linear, exponential, ease-in, ease-out curve. Everything is processed inside the software. When you decide to bake animation, every position at every frame is stored and won't be able to be moved by cursors or parameters anymore. So the objects keep track of position X, Y, Z and keeps it like burnt in at every frame. End of technical pause. What we are going to do here is baking our idle animation in order to assign it to a Metahuman controller. Here we go. Parameters seem okay. Let's bake it. Now we have two tracks of animation for our body, the Metahuman control rig and the classic animation. Let's disable the classic animation to keep only the control rig. At this point, normally you should have a whole range of keyframes. Sometimes they don't display correctly. You can close Unreal and open it again, and things should be back to the normal. Back to Unreal. Let's open our level sequence, and keyframes are back. Now we are going to proceed to make the same rigging for the head. So head up to Face and select Bake to Control Rig, and then choose Face Control Board Control Rig. This one. Now you can see both tracks, the regular animations and the baked one. So choose the regular animations and hit delete to erase it. And now a baked track for the face and a baked track for the body. Now we are going to look for the overlapping parts. So let's look for head related lines. Search for head. We got head control, head IK control. We got MHA head IK control and MHA head IK switch control. For the face now, we got globally the same ones, and we are gonna get lines related to MHA head. So MHA head IK control and MHA head IK switch control. We are going to select everything in MHA head IK control. Everything here, and copy it and paste it to the same line in body control rig. If it does not paste correctly at the wrong frame, for example, go to frame 0 and paste it again. Things are still not correct at this point because you have to get your IK switch control keyframes all cleared and its value set at 0. This time we should be a bit better. So let's grab the same line and keyframe it off and push to 1, and this time we are going to assume this value is right for the MHA head. IK switch for the body control rig. Let's try moving a little back and forth. Seems pretty consistent. Though everything is not perfect yet. We are going to tweak some more elements. Our body is a bit inside the ground, so we are going to need to offset it a bit in height. So in our body, let's search for offset. The offset values are global. We may clear keyframes again, and we can tweak it globally for the whole animation range. And especially in Z, to have the shoe bottom just above the ground. Where offsetting is important is that the head position is a bit odd. It moves the character as it is driven by the head IK. So when you offset in X and Y, you can see here in the side view, let's tweak it a bit in X and let's tweak it in Y. So you see it corrects a bit the neck position, which is a bit strange, but things are working though. My head is moving, rotating, and is correctly attached to the body. Now time to render. Let's create a cinematic camera actor. We are going to track the cine camera as a main cut and move it to find our character. I remove the offset in the search bar in order to see our camera back again. Okay, here I go. And in the camera, let's change our focus to tracking. Okay. Once more, let's browse in the timeline to check that everything is okay. I'm not totally satisfied with the head position, this neck, so I tweak it a bit more. And it seems things seem much better. Let's add it to the movie render queue. And in the settings, you may remove the JPEG export, add a PNG sequence as an output. We are going to add anti-aliasing, override anti-aliasing. Let's go to 5 and 5. I had to correct my anti-aliasing elsewhere because it wasn't properly set up at the project settings level. Anyway, I tweak it, put it to 5 and 5 and accept and go to render. Go, rendering, previewing. Let's wait a bit and there we go. Final word, this is not an official method for resolving the issue. There are a bunch of elements in the Metahuman workflow. There is a certain number of things in the Metahuman workflow that the Metahuman Animator has more to do with an advanced beta than a final product. Anyway, it is very, very interesting, and you can find at other YouTubers other solutions to solve this floating burst issue, but none of them did work for me, so I had to figure out how to fix the overlapping part between the upper body in the Metahuman rig and the lower part of the Metahuman capture performance result. So it's still a fix, not a definitive solution. I hope Epic will get things better in the future. It remains a functional workaround in your workflow, and it may help you to process a complete body animation plus face performance for your next project. So, cheers!